today we're here in your kitchen. We've already done it on the location side of things. And so how are we gonna start out first here at doing it at home?
All right, well, the first thing we need to do is take our dried meat, which is basically just made jerky. The only difference between this and jerky is you want to cut it across the grain instead of with it so that it breaks apart a lot easier. You don't want that jerk that you'll get with jerky, and it's completely unseasoned, just dry meat. You don't want to add any salt, any seasoning. It'll just create too...
No A1 marinade?
Nothing. Yeah, it'll just be too strong a flavor once it's made into pemmican. So just take the meat, break it up as you can, and throw it in our food processor here. And then we're going to want to grind this down as fine as we can get it. It was described a lot as powder, basically. So as fine as we can get this is what we want to do.
I noticed the batch we made on location, I guess you could say, in the camp, we noticed it was a little bit chunkier, and that's also what I've read is it's very powder-like. It almost forms a loaf.
Yeah, yeah. What we made it in the camp there, we didn't have a proper mortar and pestle, so we kind of tried to make do with the handle of a knife and a wooden bowl, and it just didn't come out as fine as what we would have liked. So I think this is going to be a little better batch. The other one ought to taste just fine. It ought to keep just as long. You weren't quite able to get the good mixture of meat and suet that we want.
I think the larger chunks may make a better stew than the powder.
I think it probably would. I don't know how large chunks you can get before you start to lose some of the preservation length that you can get. I mean, I assume that has a lot to do with it, that all the meat completely encased and soaked through with suet. Not sure. But for my purposes, as long as I'm going to keep it stored, that'll be plenty. But if done properly with this stuff ground up tight and kept in a cool place out of direct sunlight, it should last 10, 20, even 30 years.
And this is just standard dehydrated meat.
Yep.
Like I said, no additives or anything, but just standard dehydrator.
Yep. Yep. It's just it's like a beef roast, just whatever's cheap, and just make sure you cut it across the grain as thin as you can get it and dry it out. So let's see what we can do here with this. See what we got here. That's pretty good. I think that's just about what we want. I might hit that again before we throw it in there.
But almost looks like that beef jerky that comes in the skull can.
Yes. Yep. Pretty much exactly.
A lot less moisture though.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So now that our meat is ready to go, now we can start on our suet, which is rendered organ fat. So it's very different than what you'll get off the muscle meats that come off your steak and whatnot. That's a lot softer, and it doesn't last as long. It'll go rancid a little faster. So this is what it comes off the organs. It's a lot harder. It's here. This is at room temperature until it can kind of break up. And we're just gonna. This is the brand right here, Atora. Ordered 2 of these online through Walmart. They were $18 with free shipping. So this is kind of what you want. You can find steps online to render your own fat. It's quite a process, but if you're looking to make a lot of it and not spend a ton of money, that would probably be the way to go. So we want to go about half and half here.
One of the other things I noticed out at the camp was this melted very easily.
Yeah, I was surprised by that myself. It went a lot faster than I expected. So I'm going to give that a minute, see what that does to it. Probably another minute, and we're ready to mix things together. Okay.
All right, so we're back out.
Yep, there is our melted suet.
Almost looks like butter.
It does, kind of. It actually smells a little like butter too right now. So we're just going to mix these things together. I'm going to put this in a Tupperware container. I'm going to line a little bit with some spray just to kind of help keep it from sticking. I mean, it's half fat, but it never hurts. Just a little more. Okay. Let's go
What
ahead.
kind of consistency are we looking for between the fat and the beef?
Well,
Like a batter, a peanut butter, or a...
yeah, it's hard to say. I think you want more of this oatmeal kind of consistency, about like that. You want to do it. Everything I've read recommends doing them equal parts by weight. I didn't feel like actually trying to weigh everything out. So pretty much about like that sort of one, kind of a thick oatmeal kind of thing.
Basically, you want to make sure that everything's encased in the fat.
Right.
Is what is what you're looking for then.
Everything wants to be good and covered. So now we can stick that in the fridge, which will just help it to set up a little faster. And when it's done, we're ready to cook with it.
Okay, here we have the final product.
Yep, there's the finished product we made today. Just a suet. I think that's pretty much exactly what we want right there.
Almost has a no-bake cookie
Well, it does.
finish to it.
That's pretty much exactly what it is. Yeah. That's pretty good. Now I'm going to try a chunk of this just the way it is. See how that tastes. That's not bad.
Well-chewed beef jerky.
Well-chewed beef jerky. Yeah. It initially doesn't have a lot of taste. You start getting some meat at the back end of it. I could eat that if I needed to. That's not bad.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So here we have what we made out at the camp.
Right. This is our
there.
suet cake here that we made out there. It's got just the dried beef and the suet in it. And we added dried blackberries to this one, which was common. You could add seeds, dried fruit. It won't keep quite as long with the fruit in it. That will ferment eventually. You're still talking about months, if not years. So that's what we've got right there. So we're going to break this up into chunks, or cut it up into chunks, and then add it to our skillet. And then we're just going to work it down. They're going to make what was called a rousseau in the 18th century. Just a simple meal made with pemmican and found vegetables. I'm going to make the one today with onions and just a can of mixed vegetables.
Found that can in your yard growing wild.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. Killed it myself. So as you can tell by the lid. I figure your average person doing any camping, hiking, survivalist type situations probably going to have I would assume a can of mixed vegetables somewhere on hand, or just anything you find, potato, carrot, anything. All right, so we've got our meat kind of cooked down here. I'm going to go ahead and add our onions and our can of vegetables. I'll drain the water off of them. I'm just going to stir fry all of that together. Some salt and pepper.
So here's the finished product. We got it all cooked down.
I added about a teaspoon of flour while it was cooking, just to thicken the moisture in it up a little bit. It looks like our canned vegetables got a little mushy. I don't think it's going to affect the taste at all.
Oh no, I highly doubt it.
But they did get a little soft, but
All right.
let's give it a try and see how it is here.
So here we are. We're going to try it, and you're braver than me. I had to blow longer.
That's actually really good.
It is.
I could eat that. And with stuff that doesn't need to be kept refrigerated at all.
And you could really, it's something that you could mix in rice really easy with.
Well, actually, the some of the recipes that I see call for rice. It's pretty much just anything. Anything you've got available. Rice, flour, seeds, vegetables.
I just hit one of the larger pieces there. Takes a little bit more work to eat, but good. But just
Right.
here you go. Yeah, well, some rice, even hardtack to help you scoop it up.
Yeah.
To do something like that, I think would be.
That would be very good. There are recipes that call for ship biscuit, which was just basically a hard
Shift biscuit.
Ship.
Ship biscuit. Okay, even all right.
Ships
I
biscuit.
said we
And you just break that up into breadcrumbs basically and add it to it. So really about anything.
Well, I can see where if you put this in to a large pot of boiling water and made more of a stew, it would actually be good that way too.
Yeah. I can't imagine anything you'd put in that where it wouldn't come out pretty edible. So
And we could.
I'd say it was a success.
All right. Well, so here we go. A little bit of food storage advice from the 1300s, 1400s,
18th century.
18th century?
So, yeah,
Oh, okay.
1700s. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're going to go from the Mississippi to the Pacific Ocean, you're set to go.
That's what you need right there.
Yeah, and I want to thank you for walking us through this, and we're definitely going to have you back on one of our other shows talking about the SCA.
Okay.
And I know this is kind of the all linked together.
Yeah.
So it's really good, better than I expected. Actually, I was really kind of incredulous as to, well, so much of this older stuff doesn't have a lot of flavor.
Right.
So.
Well, like they say, England especially, they fought multiple wars over spices and then decided they didn't want any of it. So,
our friend Kevin Blake, talking about beans and bread, that was a big deal. So, definitely. And well, I'm going to have another piece of this and give it a try at home.